Have you ever bought a fruit? Say maybe an apple. On the outside, it looks all clean, so beautiful, attractive, and delicious. But as you cut it open, you find out that inside is decayed. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Precious. On this channel, I host Fettling Flames, showing every Friday. And today is another episode. I'm so glad to have you here. On today's episode of Fettling Flames, we're going to be talking about decent on the outside, damaged on the inside. You know, many times you meet people and they look all glammed up, all beautiful, looking very attractive, rosy. You admire them, their composure, the way they speak, the way they act, the way they laugh, their dressing, their demeanor. You just like a lot of things about them. And then you decide to come closer. You start to have a one-on-one interaction with them. You try to become their friends. You get to know them better. And in the process of that, you find out they were not actually who they said they were. Today, we're going to be addressing a very pertinent issue that we are dealing with today in the society. And it's the fact that on the surface, a lot of people look put together, but inside, they are practically rotten. Very rotten. The society is littered with a lot of moral problems today because many people are not who they profess that they are. We have a lot of people moving about in beautiful clothes, looking all rosy, very excellent, well packaged, very attractive. But behind the scenes, their lives are messed up. They are carrying a lot of debris, a lot of weight, and a lot of unspeakable things within them. It's even more concerning sometimes when you find this kind of phenomenon in a society that is heavily religious, numbered by people who proclaim to have a sense of godliness or a sense of deep-centered morality on face value, but within the confines of their privacy, it's a different ball game. You come across people who are well-dressed, who are well-spoken, who are polished, who have a sense of responsibility, an aura of cleanliness around them. But when you interact with them, you would almost want to spit out. This is a phenomenon that is known as someone being decent on the outside, but damaged on the inside. There is a very important question that seems very, very difficult to answer, sometimes very confusing. And that question is, why are we dealing with a lot of obscenities? Why are we dealing with a lot of perversion? Who are these people? Who are the people promoting things that mar the heart? Who are the people promoting dirtiness, lewdness, immorality of different shades, of different sizes, of different measures? Who are the people who sit behind the keypads of their phones and type things that can tingle the ears, and type things that can break the heart, and type things that can even shake the strong? If we look deeper, we will find out that the people who do these things are not far away from us. They are the people we know, the people you and I know. And sometimes they could be you. Why would a person look all glammed up, look all polished, all well dressed, have a sense of decorum around them, speak with so much softness, with so much tenderness, with so much maturity, but then in their privacy, they engage in very dirty, destructive atrocities that are too difficult to mention? We have a lot of young people who are evasive in character. To their parents, they are well put together. They were brought up well, in quotes. They know their right from their wrong. But in reality, all they were doing was just a sham. As they step out, as they greet friends, as they interact with partners, work colleagues, they put on the marks of godliness, of cleanliness, of innocence. But then, behind the marks, they are terrors, instruments of scandal. Take the social media space for an instance. A lot of times we see so much of dirty stuff and a level of perverseness that is too difficult to swallow. People post things that are very absurd, things that promote pornography, promote nudity, promote sexuality in a very offensive manner. And then, right there, on that same page, where people should be calling out the offender, where people should stand for right, where people should stand to say this is not acceptable, there are so many, thousands, millions of people clapping, applauding such behavior, appending their signatures with likes, with loves, with emojis, with shares, and with comments glorifying such actions. Have we ever asked ourselves, why are controversial issues, why are offensive issues so quick to trend? Why are pictures of nudity so quick to trend? Why are immoral acts and escapades so quick to trend? Why are attitudes and actions and behaviors that are countercultural in the negative sense so quick to trend? And why are they so easily acceptable? It is because we have lied to ourselves. We've told ourselves that we are all right. We are all godly. We all were brought up in a way to promote godliness and righteousness. But truly, we never got it. Let's talk about the causes. What are the reasons why people look decent on the outside but could be damaged on the inside? The first one is the lack of true values. A lot of people are baseless when it comes to principles. They don't have things to stand for. They do not have non-negotiables. They go for what is trending at the time, what is in vogue, or what everybody or majority seems to be clamoring for. There is no true sense of belief. There is no true sense of standing on who they are, what they believe in, and what they support. The next reason is the culture of fear. There are those who have values, who have principles, but they are afraid. We are afraid to defend what we stand for. We are afraid to defend what we believe in. And most probably because we are afraid of being cancelled. In the recent years, cancel culture has become a thing where people are being publicly attacked, disassociated from, and vilified for standing for what is true, for standing for what is right, for standing for what they believe. It can go both ways, either positively or negatively. But the fear of being cancelled, the fear of being rejected by the crowd is something that has not allowed a lot of people to value and cherish their principles and their standings. The next reason why a lot of people are clean on the outside, modest on the outside, but messy on the inside is a culture of pressure. There is a lot of pressure in today's world. Practically everyone is under pressure. On a daily basis, you're under pressure to believe something, to do something, and to follow something. Originally, it may not be your decision. It may not be something you accept. But over time, there is a constant pressure, a constant impression being made on your mind daily, hourly, by the minute. Every time you open your phone, every time you go on social media, every time you watch the television, every time you tune into the outside world, there is a pressure to accept something. There is a pressure to buy into a system that glorifies the culture of perversion. And that tends to have a ripple effect on what we stand for. What is called the mere exposure effect. It's a phenomenon where you subtly and subconsciously box people or convince people into believing something, into accepting a system, a culture, a way of thinking, a perception, an ideology, by constantly showing them whatever it is. That is why there are recent ideologies that were formerly not accepted, formerly offensive, but today they have become a part of us. And some of us, our resistance to those things have gradually dwindled. Before you see them and they irk you, now it is no different. It's like second nature. You get used to it and you don't feel any form of guilt. You don't feel sorry about accepting those things as norm. It has applied to the way we dress. It has applied to the way we speak, the language, culture. It has applied to sexuality, issues of marriage, and categories of the human society. Another reason is the culture of shame. There is a culture of shame wanting to make people feel guilty and feel debased for standing for what is true. Sometimes they are very practical. People bring pictures or images of people who are on the right path and compare it with people who are obviously rude and perverse in behavior, there is a comparison between positive and negative with an intent to promote negatives over positives. The Bible tells us, what connection is there between light and darkness? Why do you compare a Christian stance or a Christian ideology with a worldly ideology? Why are we mingling water and oil? Why are we mixing blood and fuel? Why are we putting things together that shouldn't be together? There is no basis for light and darkness to operate on the same footing. And when we do these things, we speak to the fact that there is something wrong with majority on the internal than on the external. There is also the culture of pretense. For people who are of the Christian faith, many profess to be believers, to know God, to be Christians. In fact, the word Christian has become a cliche. It can mean several things for several people. You can be Christian and be something else. And it has brought about a lot of confusion in our world today. Faiths are being mingled together. You can be many things, you can combine many things, you can believe in so many things. And at the end of the day, it is difficult to draw the line between what is right and what is wrong. How can we start to repair? Well, this is a matter of the heart. This is a matter of what happens within, and it's a matter that we must start to deal with in our privacy. We must start to ask ourselves critical questions. If you're someone who professes to be godly, to be morally good, to be clean, on the outside, that's what you project, but on the inside, you have a lot of skeletons in your cupboard, you must start to look back and question yourself. You must start to confront yourself. You must start to call out yourself on your nonsense and do the right thing. There is a place for repentance. There is a place for change. There is a place for turnaround. If we're going to have a society that is sane, if we're going to have people who are rational, who are right thinking, if we're going to sustain good in our world today, there must be a stand for right living. There must be a stand for authenticity. You must choose to be what you are on the outside, what you are on the inside. You must choose to show that it is purity in and purity out. We don't want to see you sing on the pulpit and then when we open your phone, we see pictures of nude people. We don't want to see you calling out people on social media for doing wrong. But when we come to your laptop, we see a lot of dirty stuff. We don't want a society that looks sane on the outside, but is littered with corrupted hearts. It is not nice to have people promoting rude behavior, promoting obscenity, making mockery, making fun, laughing, and joking over matters that should be cried for. Today we have a lot of gender malfunctioning. Men wanting to be women, making fun out of it. And people celebrate them, people follow them, they have mass following. These things must be questioned. And someone, you and I, we need to stand and say, no, it must stop. It is important that we stand for the right, that we defend our values, and we defend the faith that has been handed down to us. Thank you for spending your time with me today on Fettling Flames, and I hope to see you next time.